3. Boom.
What's up, movie lovers?
We are
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So, how is everybody doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Anything fun with the movie sphere going on this week?
I mean, I've said it before. I wanted to go watch Springsteen, but I haven't had the chance. It looks really good. I love Bruce Springsteen, and I love Jeremy Allen White, and so it looks. I always love the biopics like that too. Biopics.
Yeah,
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, it's both.
But I've loved the amount of biopics that have been coming out, and the
great
quality of them have been really, really good.
Yeah, a lot of them have been really good.
Yeah.
And they've done well at the box office,
Yeah.
so they're going to keep making them.
Yeah.
People teased Austin Butler, but I really liked Elvis.
No, that one was really good too.
No,
and then
what
Tom
they
Hanks
teased
in
him
there.
about was that he continues to do that.
That's true.
much.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Like,
true.
Somehow that character became real life.
You're like, I'm Elvis. And you're
Yeah.
like, bro, it's been like 3 years.
Right.
It's wild.
That's the risk of those method actors, where it's just like they involve themselves so much and then they can't get out of it.
It's crazy. It's an accent. It's
Yeah.
such an odd one to pick
Well,
up
because
on.
if you're talking on, so if you're enveloping your entire life on that one accent for a year straight, you just get used to it, and
Tom Holland
so
played Spider-Man for like 12 years now, and
He's-
he doesn't sound American.
Yeah.
yeah, there are some interviews where he has. People have caught him where
He's like slips into
certain
it.
things are
Sure.
said where he
He
slips
still
into the American
sounds like
accent.
a Brit doing an American.
That's
but
that's
the
true.
thing.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm American.
Yeah.
But that's also the thing. They also do the
pizza.
most like basic American neutral
Yeah.
Midwestern
Midwest.
accents.
They all
It's like
they all have that same.
that is
sort
the
of
one
like-
thing about his all the Spider-Mans actually, they don't have a New York accent. Not a single one of
You know
them.
what I was about to say? I want to see somebody with like a Jersey accent come out. and
Like it's supposed
Yeah.
to be hey, I'm in friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Eh?
Yeah. Hey, what do you got over there, Johnny?
More like the Miles Morales video game.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man game. Yeah.
It's always the townsfolk that sound that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, hey,
100%.
Spidey, come down and get a dog.
Yeah.
Now,
You're like-
accents done correct. I will say, I think Good Will Hunting. I really
Oh,
enjoyed
for
that
sure.
accent
Oh, is that
work.
Boston?
Well, it's because
Yeah.
they're all from Boston. That was
I
the
guess
whole
that's-
point.
I guess they're kind of playing it
They
up.
knew
Yeah.
enough of the
They're all
the
from
dialect.
that
It was
location.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I mean, 'cause, yeah, that was the whole point. Is like they're all small Boston
Bostonites,
actors
yeah.
making a movie about Boston because that's what they knew.
It was so good.
So
The accents were so good. And they don't have those accents like all the time.
No,
Like,
that's
Ben
true.
Affleck obviously doesn't.
no, they lost
No,
those.
they
They were
lose-
definitely
they lose
leaning
Boston
into it.
Batman,
Yeah.
that was great.
They go
Yeah.
to the harbor.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah. But
Yeah.
so today's topic, who wants to throw out there what we got going on today?
I mean, so I'll at least give the topic. So, what is the up and coming or best medium for telling a story? Just general, not effects or whatever. Everything that involves storytelling. Is it? I gave the categories: movies, TV shows, video games, and I also threw in animation as well because I think that's its own separate style, even though it does have movies and TV shows.
Yeah, I would say that one kind of runs in the middle of
Yeah.
both. But yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
I'll lead off since it was my topic.
Sure. Go
So, for me, let me pull up my notes here. So, I gave pros and cons of all the above here. So for movies, my pros were it's long form, and you can do big high budgets for these kind of things. You have huge, beautiful looking shots because they have the money that they're throwing in that from the studio. Hundreds of $1 million on budgets at this point. Like your Avatars, for example, or your Lord of the Rings, or any of these newer movies that are coming out.
Right.
Your Marvel movies. They look gorgeous, but they also you have 3 hours. You tell one full story, and you can you tell everything that you need to. Throw it into one 3 hour story, 2.5, however long you want it. Lord of the Rings, you can also tie it into sequels and stuff like that, which is
Right.
cool. You can either watch it as its own solo movie, or it ties into a greater story. It doesn't have to go on for 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes.
Yeah.
It can because of like Marvel,
Right. Yep.
which is great. It doesn't have to. My cons are though, you do have a lot to cram in 3-ish hours worth
100%, yeah.
of movies telling. So you can't have intricate storylines. You can't have super fleshed out characters without some compromise there. You also kind of get stuff that if you lose the interest in the series, you get lost in it. Like
Right.
the Divergent series, you have 3 movies that were made with a 4th one that never got made.
Mm-hmm.
So you left it all on the table there
Yeah.
because people are no longer interested on that one. You can also, have movies that are rushed and then they get done badly, even though they've been hyped up a ton. Justice League, for example, that was hyped up a ton, and then because of the tragedy of the family issues in there, got thrown in. Everyone lambasted it and I'm sure there's other ones that can be brought up as well. And also, what if just they perform badly and you don't get to finish your the whole storyline. Like we were talking about Divergent. Right. Spider-Man was supposed. Both Spider-Mans were supposed to be trilogies, with the Tobey Maguire and what's his face?
Holland.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Yeah, both of them were supposed to be sequels or trilogies.
Yeah.
Couldn't get them. Dark Tower was supposed to be the Stephen King.
Dark Tower. The one.
That was supposed to be a whole series. Tim Burton's Batman trilogies. That was supposed to be
they're like you're scaring kids, Tim.
Yeah,
you gotta pull it back a little bit.
Or Aragon, a kids movie that was supposed to be great, and then all of a sudden just roasted because it was terribly done.
Yeah.
So that's my movies pros and cons.
Right.
TV shows pros. You get to do huge world building. Contrary, you can have such intricate storylines to be able to throw. Episodes here, episodes there. Have you watched The Bear yet?
No, I haven't watched The Bear yet.
Like my favorite episode, Forks, all about Richie, just on his own in a whole nother restaurant. Not even about the main restaurant or the main character. It's just one side character.
It might be the best episode.
And it's that, and I think the next one afterwards was the Seven Fishes episode.
It might be the best.
Yeah, well, it's like the next one is like it's its own flashback episode, and it's not even relevant to it gives backstory. But that's the thing; it's like they're giving.
You could take that episode out and it'd be totally fine.
100%.
It's a really funny.
But like the Forks, so good. I like Last of Us. Have you guys watched Last of Us?
Yeah.
I watched the first.
Well, the first season they had that whole episode about the two side characters. They were they were mentioned slightly in the games, and they gave them the whole episode. And it's a super.
Which I kind of liked, honestly. The episode I thought was
the episode was it was a great episode.
Yeah, it's a whole highly.
Hated it, but I liked it.
But it tells a fully fleshed out story over these two characters that got a slight playable level and then a note in the actual game, and they gave them a whole backstory.
Yeah, because the people who didn't like that were the ones that for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
sure.
But like it's that thing where it goes. Either you didn't pay attention to that part in the game because it was such a brushed over comment or whatever, or you just didn't play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because then you wouldn't be as surprised by it.
I would argue is usually how it happens.
Yeah.
They're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Agenda. And you're like, no, this was in the game.
Yeah,
this wasn't
exactly.
a full thing.
Yeah, you just didn't pay attention. But it's like, so my point is that you can flesh out side characters that you had never worried about. Or, like Game of Thrones has all the intricate storylines just thrown in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the last couple seasons we talked about, but when they could throw in super intricate, clips here that pay off seasons later. And also shorter episodes where you don't have to waste 3 hours of an afternoon. You can waste, half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And still watch amazing TV, like Breaking Bad, for example, one of the highest rated TV shows. Those are half an hour episodes, 45 minutes at most, So it's like you get a lot of great quality short form if done correctly. However, you're also at the whim of the studio that can get canceled in 1 or 2, seasons if you get that lucky.
Right.
Famously, Firefly, a high rated show that got canceled after 1 season. One of my favorites, Heroes. Did you ever watch Heroes?
Loved Heroes.
I've seen her. I've seen
Love it.
Well, I like the first 2 seasons of Heroes.
But to the point, it's like high-rated seasons and all of a sudden just tanked and then got canceled,
Hidden Panettiere.
Yep, Hidden Panettiere.
She was the cheerleader.
Yeah.
And then Milo, I forget the rest of his name. Philanthropist. He's a good actor, though.
Yeah.
But then also, it's like with Stranger Things, it could take years. Nowadays, with how much money they're kind of trying to put into the TV shows, it's taking years for post-production.
Yes.
Like it's 2 years in between the last
this
season?
Season will be 3 years.
Exactly.
Things for me,
That's exactly it. It's like
I've lost interest over the time.
Right there, exactly is my point. It's like you start off with a huge hype, take them a year to turn around, and all of a sudden now they're trying to make full movies out of it.
News.
Yep, and it's now, it's you lose interest at that point. And so then for animation, pros, you can do all things on screen that can be dangerous to be filmed or hard to do CGI with, but with regular animation you don't have to worry about human involvement there.
Sure.
You can do things that don't take you out of, your suspension of belief at that point.
Right.
Because if you're watching a regular movie, then you see some hokey stunt action or, bad CGI. That can take me out of a movie very easily. But like Spider-Man, all the into the Spider-Verses and Across the Spider-Verse, some of that stuff is some cool looking animation, and it makes it that much better to tell that story.
Yeah.
Or like Avatar, the Last Airbender, where it's all animation and it looks so cool. Where they animate all the different fighting characteristics. They animate all the different.
That might be one of the best examples to use too, because that one was done masterfully.
It's such a good way of just storytelling and being able to throw in all the characters as well. You can also have a TV show that goes for decades, literal decades. One Piece, Dragon Ball,
Full Metal Alchemist.
Well, that's not decades, but
Which
one am I thinking of? There's like an anime
Naruto?
that goes forever.
Well,
Naruto,
Piece.
Naruto lasted a long time.
Naruto's on. One Piece is the longest one.
Maybe
That's
it's One
been
Piece,
One Piece is
'cause One
going
Piece-
on for
Doesn't
thousands
watch
of
anime,
episodes. Yeah.
so-
Well, and Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood, like they'll do like.
But that's
spin-off
also the
ones,
thing
but
too,
it
is that
lasts a
you
long
can
time,
you can start rebooting and not have to worry about
Right.
all right, is
Yeah.
this actor going to still look the same? No,
Yeah.
as long as they sound the same, or you can find somebody who's a close vocal replacement.
Yeah.
Fake 'em.
That's exactly it, because you have people that have passed away, and if they do it respectfully,
Yeah.
they find another guy that sounds close to it, and there
Right.
you go. Avatar: Last Airbender for Uncle Iroh.
Uncle Iroh, that's right.
R.I.P. That's a sad.
Even though he was probably my favorite character in that show.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Exactly.
good.
But they found somebody who sounded very much like him and respected the character and
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
on going
I mean,
with it.
I was cool with it. So.
Mm-hmm. The cons, though, it's like production also can take years on that too. Where it's
Easily.
like Spider-Verse taking years to
Yep.
get. I think it's like 5 or 6 years since the last.
Yeah, because
Spider-Verse
you can
into
get
the new
so
one.
far into the graphical
Yep.
portion of it, and it's like
Yeah, 'cause the
we're
last-
just getting bogged down in
Yeah.
technology and what
Yep.
we can and can't render and how we want to render it, and
It's rough. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because Across the Spider-Verse was like 2 years ago?
No, longer than that. That was 2020 or something like that. Yeah, you can keep me honest on that one,
I
but
think it was like right after COVID.
yeah,
For sure.
it's been a long time.
23.
Yeah,
Was it
so
23?
3 years.
Yeah, June 2nd, 2023.
So 3.5 years now at this point, going on 4. And it's not supposed to be another 20. I think 2027 is when the next one's supposed to come out.
Yeah, part 2, I don't know when part 2 is.
Yeah, but I
26.
believe, yeah,
So,
26, 27.
So
yeah.
from 26 to 20, from 23 to 20, that's 3 years.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So
good.
long,
It's like June.
decently long turnaround
Yeah.
at that point. But yeah, and so the animation style can also suffer though because of if you're trying to push money towards we need that fight scene there, then it kind of pushes over to the side. Invincible had an episode where they actually, because it's supposed to be a realistic thing,
Right.
so the main character, he goes to this Comic-Con and goes to this comic book creator and he's like, hey, why is it that some of the animation suffers? And he goes to this whole spiel in show, almost breaking the fourth wall, going, well, you have to bring the money for the fight
Yeah.
scene here, so then you have to shortchange the animation there. But that's the pros and cons there.
Yeah.
For me, video games, you can tell intricate storylines and still give amazing twists. Even more so than some other TV
Right.
shows. Red Dead Redemption, for beautiful
Dead.
storytelling.
GTA.
BioShock.
BioShock was also really good.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be honest, Portal was a great story.
Yeah,
Portal.
exactly.
As limited as you were because
Yeah.
of the style of game.
Yep.
If you want to go beyond that, Mass Effect.
Yeah, it forces them to be creative. you
Yeah.
know? And so on the Mass Effect, you have options of
Choose
choice.
your own adventure.
You have a choose your adventure at that point where you can get even more engrossed with the universe
Yeah.
that they're building because they're giving you choices to create your own character. Knights of the Last Republic. You can go full good, you can go full bad, you can go right in the middle. All depend, and everything will adjust from there.
Yeah.
So the amount of choices that it gives you to storytell is incredible. You can also tie them into actual TVs and movie shows. Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
I was gonna say one of the Star Wars games. did
Yep.
that.
Yeah, that ties in right after. That goes right after. I think it's 5 years after Episode 3.
Yeah.
Is what happens. But then you can also continue the upkeep with creating new content for it live.
Right.
GTA Online is a prime example of that. They're giving you full, whole heists to be able to do.
Campaigns essentially.
Exactly, entire campaigns actively going. That's why it's taken so long to get the GTA 6.
Yep.
Or you can do update events like Call of Duty. They give you updated cutscenes. They change the map. Fortnite will change the map at that point. Stuff like that.
Really take the storytelling with it because they have entire lores.
Yeah,
for each map,
exactly.
So definitely.
Exactly. The cons though is usually need a specific console for it. Whereas
which nowadays doesn't mean anything. Like they're remastering Halo Combat Evolved for PS5.
Really?
Comes out in January.
But
they did a trailer for it and released like the first 6 minutes of gameplay.
It still requires you having a $506 system though.
Oh,
whereas
100%.
For you can watch
a movie for $8
exactly
or something.
Exactly.
Deal.
Yeah, or watch TV. You get your streaming service or whatever.
Yeah.
You can bum it off of somebody else. So you can go to a library or something and watch it. So it's like you have to spend $100 on a system and then the game itself too. Usually, unless you have their monthly subscription for a pass or something like that. And then some of them are requiring microtransactions, your EA, COD, and Fortnite. That's their bread and butter, baby.
Bread and butter.
That's all. That's how they stay afloat.
Every time too.
Yep. You want your battle pass? Get your battle pass.
Yep. I don't have time to grind, so I'm like, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just buy to the end.
Yeah.
So I think for me, personally, I think animation might have the edge on where it's becoming now.
Okay.
Because before it didn't have the same money involved with it.
Sure.
But now with the amount of money being thrown into it, you have a lot of movies that are becoming only animation that are becoming blockbusters. You have TV shows that are becoming super good animation shows. We were talking about the that Netflix one that was on your top list.
Arcane?
Yeah, Arcane looks amazing and is purely animated at that point. So I think if they can reduce some of that development time and keep the level of quality up, I think that's going to be, in my opinion, the newer version, especially with mocap and stuff, where they can, all right, you get your actor to come in, get him to do a couple stunts or whatever.
Yeah.
You can manipulate that character. You can still give the credit to the live actor, but you can do whatever you want with that animation. You can make him do stunts that no stuntman would ever touch. So
for sure,
I think coming up, that's going to be the new medium, is being able to do great TV shows, even if they're short form, limited editions. I think that's going to be, in my opinion, I think is the best storytelling medium right now.
I'll tell you.
Interesting.
Not a bad choice.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, okay. So I guess I'll go next real quick. So I think you scratch the surface on basically everything.
Yeah, so I gave a whole pros and cons.
So I'm going to stick with the storytelling only, right?
Okay.
So or I guess we'll play things that could have caused bad or good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So for movies, right? So obviously, I am the movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
I own 1,000. I've seen thousands. It's one of those things where I will always be a fan of movies as the storytelling for me, because it's beginning, middle, end. No matter if it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, beginning, middle, end. Now, for better or for worse, right? It could be, like you said, maybe you cram too much in there.
Right.
Budgets could be so massive that, well, if I'm giving you $200 million to make this movie, I need it done in 3 months.
Yeah.
Which could affect it in a negative way.
Or the studio just says, hey, we don't like it. Cut it.
Yeah. And then if I look in the past, let's say 10 years, well, we'll say we'll say 10. The problem is movies have shifted to big budgets, get out faster, which in return causes the storytelling to not be great. Now there's indie movies and things like that, but those kind of get brushed under the water and things like that. So I think blockbusters has, as much as I love them, have ruined that medium, because you take away if it's not a Star Wars, if it's not a Marvel, if it's not this, if there's not explosions, if it's not Avatar, if it's not something like that, then it's not gonna be great, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's gonna be rushed. Now, animation. I 100% agree. I think animation is one of those, the storytelling and all that has been tremendous. Some of my favorite movies of all time are animated. I mean, just because the stories are so good. You get the voice acting in there. They're just great overall. TV shows will always be at the bottom of my list as far as things I like to watch, because Caitlin, my wife, laughs at me because she'll like to watch shows with each, let's watch shows together. Let's watch shows together. I don't like watching shows.
Really?
Not necessarily together or we have a show we watch together. I don't like the investment shows give me, because my return level is never the same.
Huh.
So if I watch a show that goes, okay, it's 8 episodes, that's not a huge investment.
Right.
I can watch it and know in 8 episodes, do I like it, do I not?
Right.
I have wasted years watching shows, years of investment, and the obvious ones you can go like Walking Dead.
It's the first thing I thought of.
It lasted like 12 seasons. Okay, fine, great. I jumped off the boat at 8 because the story wasn't great.
Yeah.
They announced, the top 5 people are signed on for 4 more years, which means there's no stakes. So then I go, okay, so I already enjoyed the first 8 seasons, but now it's not over, and so I wasted my time because I'm not even going to see how it ends. Game of Thrones, great, several seasons, and maybe it's because fans built it up in their head how we wanted it to end, but you get there and you're like, that's not great.
I'm a firm believer the 2 guys just rushed it because they were trying to get to their Star Wars.
Because the budget, they had other things to do. They were tired of talking Game of Thrones.
Yep.
So it showed in the result. So then you go, okay, they had 1,000 options to pick from. They picked the one option that made people mad. You know what I mean? There's some people I talked to where they're like, if they just chose this, or this, I'd be fine. But they chose this. And you're like, well, yeah, that's the one they picked. So TV shows, I just don't have the investment. Now, it also plays for instance, right now we're watching 911. That I don't look at the same because it's more like it's not like a Game of Thrones or something.
That's an event of the week type of thing.
Yeah, you watch it. It's about cops. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's a very
cliffhanger.
open-ended.
Yeah, it's something that can just go. So I'm not offended if I watch 8 seasons of that and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, it is what it is. We talked about filler episodes. Sometimes it can be great. Sometimes you can go, they don't know what to do. They had to stretch this season out so bad
out of their butts, and
they're like, there's nothing to do because they only have story for 4 episodes, but we need 10. So we're gonna have filler episodes. Dragon Ball Z did this a lot. That's why people love Kai.
Anything that was working off of an anime, like in a manga, where it's like, hey, we caught up to the manga, gotta give them a couple months.
Yeah, exactly. Give me some time to get past where we are in the manga. So there's that. So I will never. It doesn't mean I don't necessarily like TV shows, but it'll always be my least favorite.
Fair.
Because even with Arcane, 8 episodes each, 2 seasons, no more. It's done. It's already done. I can watch it and be done with it. Lost pissed a lot of people off. Some people didn't like the way Scrubs ended. There's some shows that just they end and people are just so disappointed in it.
I hold to the theory. I hold just to my own opinion where it's I need the showrunners to know where the ending is because if they start stringing it along, it always, almost 100% of the time, goes bad.
You should know how it starts and how it ends, and then you fill the
gaps. At the beginning of
your show. Because then you just have a through line. What can I do in this through line to get to the end, and I'll be done. Now, where I will pick, because you chose anime, I'm sticking now, even though I love movies and always will, I'm going with video games. Because the reason for that is because where we're at right now, some of the best movies and shows are coming from video games. Last of Us is now a video game. Last of Us is a show. Halo's a show. They announced a BioShock show. Until Dawn is a movie. Movies are now copying games because the storytelling in games, there's so many options. Do you have your little ones like Mario where it's that's just Mario, I'm going to go in there and play Mario. But then you have again, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Mass Effect. You have oh my gosh! But my brain just shut off.
I'll give you some. Even with
the Tomb Raider stuff,
but you have Breath of the Wild though too. That's telling amazing stories.
There's so many good games out there. What was the other one you just said? The Red Dead
Redemption. Yep, the Redemption series.
That's what I was thinking of. My brain just shut off. But you have these ones where it's you go and the voice acting is just. Some of the best acting you've ever heard. There's a reason why they wanted to have a category for voice acting for movies and stuff. Because freaking old boy from Game of Thrones, from Lord of the Rings would have won the whole time. So with that, I think, and it goes back kind of with animation to your point, where they can do more in video games than they can in movies. Because then if you do it weird, you notice. You're that doesn't look right. Or whatever. And now it's immersive, so you can play the experience. So you can go in there and be okay, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to play this game. Even though I want to see the cutscenes only, because that's where my money's at. You go and I do get it too. Games are between games and consoles together, it's just through the roof. Somebody said GTA 6 is going to be $100. I'm that's insane. But I think with Call of Duties, those games are some of the best story-based games of all time. Now people play more for the online a lot. But
I haven't played ones. I haven't played
the co-op.
The campaigns are fun.
Yeah, the campaigns are so good, man. Medal of Honor Frontline is one we've talked about a lot. I know that's based on historic events, but it's just the gameplay is so good. But I think right now the proof is in the pudding as far as companies are copying video games now because their stories are so good that they're like, oh, let's make this into a movie. Let's make this into a show.
Right.
And it's never as good.
Yeah, it's make or break because I have the thought that the producers are the problem. Like the head honchos of whatever, filmmaking place, they try to put their thing into it. But the video games already had their own complete storyline, and that's why it has the head up.
Well, and you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because a lot of people's problem with the first season of Last of Us was that it was so close to the source material. They're like, they didn't do anything much different except for like that one episode.
Yeah.
And then they go season 2. They try to change a lot.
Yeah.
And that pissed people off because they're like, well, you didn't match the source material.
Yeah.
So like you'll never hit expectation.
No.
Sonic the Hedgehog does movies now. Like Mario is now an animation movie.
Yep.
Like they're clinging to video games because they know that is more of the medium. So I think, I think if you go and you find your joy in any of those, but like, movies will always be my because video games, again, years in between sometimes. Like you'll have a great game.
GTA 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. And then like Uncharted.
But that live content though, they've been updating. It's not like it's been nothing for 10 years.
Well,
and nothing.
And literally, and what's funny is in a 10-year span, they came out with Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and a spinoff, 4, and a spinoff.
Yeah.
And you go, how did you do that in 10 years? How did you come out with 4.5 video games in 10 years?
Right.
And they be great.
Yeah.
But then you have Stranger Things come out in 3.
Yeah.
And now people don't care.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's probably going to disappoint everybody. So and I'll go, not only did I wait 3 years for the season, it sucked. So there's no wrong answer as far as what you want to consume. For me personally, I enjoy playing a video game now more than I ever have with movies, because movies are just, there are some great indie movies, but like unless you're paying attention, like you don't know they exist.
Yeah.
And so you go out and you watch a blockbuster and you're like, wow, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I'm joining in the video game sphere right now. But some 6-year-old woman's not going to play freaking Uncharted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you also have to be like,
It's also
inclusive.
It's also, you can't just sit and veg to a video game either.
Yeah.
You actually have to have input for it. Whereas, TV show, you can just turn it
Yeah,
on. And then
there's the brain rot ones for sure.
Yeah.
Like you can be like, I'm going to throw it on and just watch. Like, and that's why
That's why you play Tetris.
I have, just like Pong.
That makes me think too much.
But that's why with shows, because there's a ton of shows I will rewatch because I've already seen them and I know I can just throw it on.
Yeah.
But as far as storytelling, I think there's too much proof of error in storytelling in shows. Even if they're great for seasons. They'll be great for 4 or 5 seasons and then...
But then you also have video games that you engulf hours, hundreds of hours in, where it's like Skyrim, for example, you have 100, I think to get to the base game, to finish, I think they said it was 80 hours worth of gameplay just to complete the main storyline.
And that's what makes the video game part different, because it's like you have to be able to want to invest the time. Now, if you're somebody who can like for Red Dead, I'm going to plug in and play an hour and then turn off. You may have one of the best hours of your life, and then you revisit it whenever you can.
That's true, yeah.
But you got to be able to set aside lots of time, and that's tough. But that's my 2 cents.
Interesting. I'm going to be the dissenter
among
the 3 of us.
All right.
If you say TV shows, you're out of here, bud.
Yeah. I thought about this a lot. So I think number 1, I ranked mine interestingly. So I gave my top 3 in order. But I'm going to say 2 was like 2A, 2B. Because it's really hard to say.
It's tough.
One is better than the other.
They're all ultimately.
It's the edge. I'm going to say number 1. Now, I don't know if y'all will count this. So I'm throwing it out there. Happy to be dismissed due to its medium style. I think the best medium for storytelling is live. So stage.
Oh, interesting.
100%.
Interesting.
I didn't think about that.
Because I think that and this is not like, the stereotype. Definitely, I don't fit the stereotype of somebody who goes, but I actually really enjoy live productions. I do. From a storytelling perspective, I think it gives you the best bang for your buck. Okay? Because you can get serial, you can get a serial story, but it's not very common. But you're going to get a complete story. You're going to get the author's intended purpose, usually from the narrator or the off-screen omnipotent,
most accurate
driver of the story. Of some sort, and you could break that down for other musicals, plays, etc. Whole ensembles, it goes very far. But I think the combination of the live and then a good set with a good team, the live sets with the actors, and then also you're feeling what's going on, right? Especially if there's live music.
There is something about it.
You're feeling what's happening. It's not just, and it's different for me than sitting in a movie. Movie, loud, booming, I can feel it, right? Scary movie, I get scared. I think it's different live. I think it hits different. I think it's like 4D. at that point.
Because most of them probably have, because I haven't been to a lot of live productions, but have that like live like symphony and stuff, right, going along with it.
The live symphony, or they have really, really good sound systems that was recording a live symphony.
Yeah.
So it just
There is-
feels more.
Yeah,
just
so
I understand that.
like so Meg and I went to Hamilton last year, and it was phenomenal for that reason. It was like it had the live music in the pit, and then you had the main actors that were right there. And yeah, you're right. It
Even
does.
with small ensembles.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
I've gone to with my class. Yeah, I used to take the kids all the time.
Yeah.
Where we would go to different places, and they would maybe have a little ensemble. Even a little ensemble is going to yards and yards ahead of a sound system with the recording.
It's like the difference between listening to a CD and going live. You know.
I was about
Like
to say,
that live concert just is that extra, you know.
I had on the way here, I was listening to the Linkin Park in London from 2017.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that was what I was listening to. Because I'm like, there's something about that concert live.
Yeah.
It's all the same music I listen to, but the live performance is something.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
I really thought about video games for a long time at number 2. I did. I think the free will given to the player ruins the storytelling.
Really?
Yes, 100%. Because storytelling means that you are getting from point A to point B to tell and evoke like an emotion or a plot or something. I played Red Dead for 125 hours. I've never finished the campaign all the way through.
Yeah.
I got stuck
You'd
on
have to
some side quest in a mountain chasing a bear for a trophy for at least 15 hours.
That's fair.
And because
That's
of
very
that,
fair.
or I find an odd bug and it amuses me.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't storytelling anymore. This is how do I break the game 101,
Yeah.
right? This is like, it's a whole nother situation. So I think that although I think great stories can be told, I don't believe it's the best medium for that reason.
There's too many hindrances
Yeah.
to
It takes dedication because like
Yeah.
Arkham Knight or the Arkham series is one of my favorite series of all time. But there's so much, especially Arkham Knight. It's like there's so many off-sites you could do that I'm like, I always tell myself, I'm like, I have to beat it first.
Yeah.
Before I do anything else, because they're going to want to pull you around. You get calls from the detective being like, robbery, or the new Spider-Man
So
games.
there is also, you guys ever hear the Telltale games back in the
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
So those,
Walking Dead,
so
Oh, yeah,
that's
right. There's some great ones.
That's a very specific type where it's a very specific linear.
And I would argue that's probably the best version.
That-
I would disagree.
Until
Actually,
Dawn.
I immediately disagree with myself. Until Dawn was the best one.
Yep.
Until Dawn.
For sure, in my opinion. I think Until Dawn was the best
Yeah,
storytelling version.
but it's a very rare game that gives a very linear of know line, especially nowadays. It used to be more often than not where like for example the old Sly Cooper game was like, all right, you have a whole heist, but it's you have one outcome. You either fail the mission and restart it and do it the right way, or you could progress the right way.
And I think that
that doesn't happen anymore with
like
all
when
the
I was
open era.
breaking it down in my head, right? The goal of telling a story is to go on an adventure that was predetermined to some level. And even to choose your own adventure, there's predetermined paths you can go down. I think that the gamification, the function of gamification, is to completely nullify all of that, right? Because then I'm focused on the game, right? So, for example, if I'm playing Until Dawn, it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. Now it's how fast can I hit it? Try and go like circle, so that I miss the jump scare.
Right.
Because the jump scare comes out. Spoilers. Wendigo is like chasing you. You have to dodge out of the way.
Yeah. Your quick time events and whatnot. Yeah.
We've completely nullified storytelling.
Yeah.
Now we've gamified it, which is the point of a game, and it's very fun. And I play a lot of games, but I think that it takes away from the storytelling.
It definitely can if you're somebody who like for instance, there's one that I had an example a second ago, but like there's one where it takes away, depending on what it is, can take it away. Because then like with the older God of War games, there was a lot of like you're fighting Ares.
Yes.
So okay, now that it'll have a cutscene, which is great, and like what you're doing is great. It looks great, but then you're like, okay, I got to run over here. I got to hit circle, and I got to tap it, and then you got to go and move on to the
Same
next
thing for God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
Ragnarok is
Beautiful game.
Beautiful game.
Like when you talk about visually, beautiful game.
Beautiful game.
The mythology, like representation, was really, really good. I thought.
Yeah.
It was, like characters represented well. They were voice acted extremely well. I did not enjoy the combat at all. So hard it is to enjoy the storytelling of a game you love when it's like, dang I gotta fight this stupid,
I think what it is too.
That was the Assassin's Creed series too, where it started off beautiful combat, but then they switched it to a completely different style of combat the next one, and then a completely different style the next one. Even though the story that's overarching, like the Ezio trilogy, is amazing for story.
Oh, it's so good.
But then they switch everything up.
There's a lot of people now. What they'll do is because they're not video game players, but they really love like if they used to let's say they used to play God of War, and but they don't want to play Ragnarok.
Just watch playthrough.
They watch the play. They watch the cutscenes. There's people on YouTube that will splice the cutscenes together, and they're like, "This is great."
Which then it gives you a movie.
Yeah, it gives you a movie.
Y'all ever played Thief?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like the didn't like the combat. The story to me, I was like, oh, this is a neat idea. I watched the entire game on a run through with no sound from sometimes you can watch people play a game.
Yeah, a let's play. Yeah.
I did not care about this person playing the game.
Right.
He literally introduced I'm going to play the game on mute. And he muted his mic, and then you just hear the game.
Interesting.
And he's just really good at the game, and I was like, I just want to see.
So he plays it as it's supposed to be played, A to B, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever the main storyline is. And I was
like that.
That is what I want because I like the story, I like the premise, and I was like, I'm never going to sit down and learn how to play this game. This game is boring to me. The gamification portion of it does not draw me to anything. Mm-hmm. So that being said, that's why I took video games away. Mm-hmm. I got 2A and 2B. I have 2A. This is an arguable one. I have 2A as audio presentation. I'm going to say that.
Interesting.
So, if you go back far enough, it's just a radio play. Mm-hmm. Now we call them audiobooks. It's all the same dang difference.
It's all the same crap.
You're telling the story audibly. I think that is as close as you're going to get to, because I think the 2B is writing. Mm-hmm. I think written is, because you can't get better, you can get the world building. You can, especially in a series like say Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings stuff. Yeah. You can't get better world building. You can't get better connection to the original story because the authors are going to put everything. There's no barriers like a visual barrier. Mm-hmm. I don't have any I can't describe this thing better. No, I can describe it perfectly. I'm the author. I can describe it. You can have a guy who's like, no, that's not what I want it to look like. I need it to look like this. And then the artist it's still completely wrong. It's awful. Or something like that. So I think leaving a lot of its imagination, and I think 2A for me is the audio presentation, audio book or radio play, whatever you call it, because it does the same thing, but it gives one more layer. Yeah. Now you have voice acting, and a good voice actor on an audio book or radio play makes a huge difference. Can also ruin it, but I think it's the best storytelling medium.
Yeah, I had to turn off the audio of Jurassic Park because I didn't like who was reading it. I was like, this is bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to be the characters too, and they were bad at it. And I'm like, don't do this.
Yeah, a bad voice actor. Like the Aragon series, they do some weird gravelly voice for the dragon. It's like, no, it's supposed to be a female dragon, and then you sound like Baby Yoda. Or not Baby, you sound like actual old man Yoda. It's like,
what I want is just David Attenborough. Who does all the nature documentary. I'm like, I just want him. Just, I don't care what the story is. I don't care, just you read it.
And on the thing of choose your own adventure, I think written really should probably be number one over, or 2A. Y'all know me, I don't got the attention span to be reading dang books. I can read a story, you can read a story, you can read a story. We would all three have very different main characters, even on the same description.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is why you go from a book to a thing, you're like, they cast it wrong.
Yep.
All of us read the same dang book.
Right.
It still kind of is a choose your own adventure in presentation of what your imagination comes up with.
It's the definition of reading between the lines, because there's so much that's not said.
So I think it checks a lot of the boxes that should be checked in a storytelling element if you're getting to that goal. Now I think for fun time wasters, dude, gaming's right up there. I got a PS5. I played Team Fortress 2 for 800 hours as a teenager, okay? 800 hours wasted playing that stupid video game. So I'm all about the video games, but I think for storytelling, that's kind of what I landed on.
Well, and that's why with video games, it's because again, I will always choose movies to be my main one. Yeah. But as far as where they're going, I think what's getting in the way of the movies for me currently is the budgets, the production, the studios, everyone getting in the way of it is kind of why right now I'm I enjoy movies, but now I'm being very picky. Yeah. When before I'd watch if I had any interest, I'd watch it. Yeah. Because I knew chances are if it's not great, whatever, I wasted an hour and a half. Yeah. It's not a huge investment.
Right.
But with video games, I think now it's you be picky. We're okay, I know my style. So if you stick to a style, then you're less disappointed because there is so many options. And I've played here's one, the Assassin's Creed. I really like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and I like Valhalla. I didn't play any of the other ones because the gameplay is so specific that you have to you love that. Really, it's the time period.
I enjoy. I love.
I was blinded by the period.
Black Flag to me was also really good.
Was it? See, I didn't play Black Flag.
That I've heard a lot of really good things about Black Flag because of that.
But the combat made sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could play more of it because I'm this is cool.
Well, and I think too, like with The Last of Us or Uncharted, the gameplay is not difficult.
Yeah.
So you can, you're doing stuff,
Yep.
but it's not anything where you have to sit there and, like you said, with Until Dawn, because I'm currently replaying that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're running through the woods and it's scary, 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 and you're like, hit triangle and it goes.
Yeah.
And you're like, did you hit triangle in time?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But yeah, there's.
And animation, I thought about for a long time too. I think again the limitations we have to animate something because you can do more than real life. It's easier to mess up, and it's also you're still limited parameter wise on what can you actually get across on screen correctly.
That's true.
Because some things you can knock out of the park, right?
Right.
I would say like Avatar 1. I thought you did a beautiful job with the CGI.
Yeah.
It's not exactly animated, I guess. That's more CGI.
That's
Yeah.
that's I guess it
I would
depends.
say-
It's what's your definition of animation though? Because technically CGI
Sure
is
is
animation,
animation.
yeah, and it
Um,
depends on if you're just trying to.
I would argue
you know.
then my favorite animation would be Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I think art style was beautiful.
Well, then you would like Arcane because like it looks
Yeah,
like
real
that
similar.
Similar
kind
to
of,
that, yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I think you're still limited. I like that one knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
Name me another one that just killed on visuals the way that one did. Maybe Arcane did, but
Yeah.
it's a smaller list. But I bet you can name me 50 right now that did not do very well.
No, there's
Because
some.
parameter-wise, it takes a lot of technology, it takes a lot of talent, and then sometimes it just doesn't read.
Right.
Well, and maybe it's me getting older, but like for instance, the Studio Ghibli films
Oh, yeah.
are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also simple.
Yeah.
It's like they're in Japan almost in all of them, except
Yeah.
for a few where it's like real big action
Yeah,
or whatever.
sure.
But like for the most part, they're in Japan. The music's real quiet. They're in every single one. There's a cooking scene.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I want to eat that. Like, you know what I mean?
If it's
like,
true, yeah.
My Neighbor Totoro is just about kids who find a big giant hairy beast, but there's there's nothing
Yeah.
scary about
Yep.
it. It's just a simple through line. And like, the Pixar used to be like the beacon of
Yep.
anime.
Oh, yeah.
But then now they're getting a lot of flack because of political crap or whatever.
Yeah.
People, I don't really care about that as much. It's more
Yeah.
about like right now the argument is like their past like 6 films all look the same because they're like they have a style.
It used to
they're
be
sticking with.
groundbreaking every single
And now they're
time.
sticking with the style
Yeah.
versus not trying new things each
Yeah.
time. Even they have a new one getting ready to come out.
That's why the first Toy Stories were so highly rated because
They
it was
were
such
great,
a
yeah.
new type of way of doing things, and then the story was at perfection at that
Yeah.
point.
Well, because and no movie was the same. It's like it went from Toy Story, then Bugs Life,
Yeah.
then Monsters Inc. and Finding Dory. And
Yeah.
they were all they were all like,
Yeah,
you love
very
superheroes,
different.
you don't love fish, but you love superheroes. Incredibles.
Right.
Exactly.
And now it's sequels or they look the exact same.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
tough.
So my detraction from video games is I think the fact that you have to replay things if you don't get it right the first time, it then takes me out of it. Where it's like because trust me, I love video games, but to your point, it's like Skyrim, I played 110 hours of it and never actually got halfway through.
Yeah.
I finally finished it, but
Yeah.
it took me all over the place. And then for certain video games that they need you to do something a specific way. Like so Assassin's Creed, for example, if you didn't do something the specific way, it failed your
Yep.
it desynchronized you, for
Yep.
example. And then you're like, well shoot, I have to do that again.
Yeah.
And at that point it does take you out of the narrative a little bit when you have to acknowledge, oh, I actually have to input something to stay in the
Yeah.
zone of that storytelling.
Yeah. Well, and that's why the only time I ever really had that problem where I would get pissed or took me out of it was when like I think it was Uncharted 1 or 2 had like puzzles. There's like one room that's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's like they make it so freaking difficult. That's the only time where I'm like, okay, I got to walk away.
Yeah.
So like for that, 100% it takes you out because you're like, I have my momentum, and then you
Right.
stalled me for an hour
Exactly.
in this puzzle.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like challenges never really got me or having game. Like it just depends. It really just depends
Yeah.
on the gameplay for it
Oh,
to bother
100%.
me.
Yeah.
Because there's some where you're like, this gameplay stinks, but I really want to see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And then there's
Well,
other ones
and
where
there's,
like,
there's room for everybody to be right. Like,
Yeah.
it's all an opinion.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all,
Subjective.
it's
So it's not like
Right.
you are wrong, even though to other people.
no,
we're all
James,
Yeah.
gonna be
you're
wrong.
wrong.
I was gonna say,
All right?
we're all going to be wrong. And
Yeah.
if,
All right.
by
Well, because
comments,
it's all
we're
subjective.
three
It's all
wrong.
subjective too, especially with like what you want to get across
Yeah.
for what your purpose is.
Well,
Because
how
it's
you
like,
like to take your storytelling in.
Sure.
Yeah,
Same as how
exactly.
people they'll die on a hill of shows.
Now, I will
Yeah.
say, I took it not how I like to, because you both know me
Yeah.
personally. As much as I love live productions, how many live productions have I said I've been to in the last few years?
right, exactly.
Zero.
At least 27.
Y'all know I don't read books anymore. I just don't have that type of time.
Yeah.
I still think it's a good. So I kind of went the opposite way, because if it was for me it's got to be a movie, and it's got to be a short one, because I don't have the attention span for this longer stuff.
Yeah.
So, or like a TV episode, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Got me
Give me 30
sold.
minutes.
That actually is in favor of the animation. 'Cause a lot of animation is done real quick.
Yeah. No, because they have to, because that budget is, all right, you have to put as much quality into that half an hour or whatever, or else it gets too long.
Original question last time was where it was going, and that's where you said. I still think VR is going to take over storytelling.
I can see that.
Yeah, VR is a tough one.
Maybe
because
not the actual like headsets that you wear at home. Although I've watched some really cool. There was a film, I guess you call it. There was an experience because I have one of them. I have the MetaQuest.
Okay.
I don't know. It's 2 years old, but it's good. And so they had came out with it was like a mob movie, and it opens. You have the little thing on, and you're covered. But it's 360 sound, so you can hear people talking behind you. And when they take the thing off, like your character's, gagged or whatever, and you're literally living out the mafia movie, like the mob is like, you're being assassinated.
Interesting.
That's pretty wild.
And it was crazy, because then you go into a flashback of how you ended up there.
Huh.
And I was like, this is the future of storytelling.
Interesting.
Because I could only experience it alone, which was like, I can go to a movie with you three, we can all watch.
Yeah.
My wife was sitting next to me while I'm like immersive. We're on this is so freaking
Your kneecaps
cool.
about to be busted. And you're
Yeah.
like, this is great.
And she's like, oh yeah, it looks great because we have it on the TV. You can see what's going
It's
on.
not
She's
the
like,
same though. Yeah.
It looks all right. I'm like, no, you don't understand. He's gonna kill me. Like, that's the guy that's gonna kill me. And I was
That's
like,
so funny.
This
Yeah.
is stupid. So it is a singular experience. I think that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And even you go to the theme parks now. You have
Yeah, the VR had the roller coasters.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it really takes the roller coaster to a whole
They
new level.
have whole VR rooms too for like different experiences. Like instead of escape rooms, it's a whole VR action area.
Yeah.
They have like with Star Wars or zombies
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
pretty
like that. But I think like it also I like the visual aspect of storytelling because me, I love books. I go through books and audiobooks like
I really
nobody's
thought that's
business.
where you were going to go because let's face it, you've read more books this year
The
than
prob-
I've probably read in the last.
The
5.
problem is, the problem that you don't have the attention span for it. I know most people don't have the same attention span to books that I do because it takes an average audiobook is anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 hours depending on how.
So long.
And so it's the same thing with like video games and stuff where it's like that's a commitment of time where you have to do it, go for a certain amount of time, and then you have to stop and remove yourself.
Yeah.
Midway through some sort of plot usually, whether it's at a chapter, then that's the easiest way to do it because it's like a TV show, it stops.
Yeah.
However, you may have to stop doing something at a certain time and it takes you right out. Whereas, a TV show or something like that will keep you enthralled, you're done, and then it's just, you can move on at that point, you can separate in your mind.
Yeah.
But like with video games or an audiobook or reading or something like that, it just kind of like stops and it takes you out and you can't fully enjoy the storytelling medium of it, in my opinion,
Right.
as well, if you don't have that attention span.
Yep. And I try to do audiobooks like go to the gym, listen to audiobook. But it's like, you're trying to be polite. You're like, oh, good morning.
Yeah.
everyone. And in your ear, you're like, and he brutally murdered, slaughtered them. And I'm like, oh, good morning.
Yeah.
And you like tiptoe away. Like,
Do you know how hard it is to act normal listening to a fight scene from Game of Thrones? It's like, It's like the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
It's like, there's too much going on.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, either I'm lifting weights or I'm listening to this.
how's
Yeah.
your morning? Any cuts, Rob Stark's throat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
really hard.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it will pull you out because then you have to stop right there and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
That was a very odd
Well,
one
and
to
that's
stop on.
well, and that's what. So, like, for all you out there, let me get this very clear. My favorite form of storytelling is movies, and it always will be movies.
Yeah, yeah.
But right now, what it is, it's everything's getting so convoluted and so crazy
Yeah.
that like script writers now and like film writers and TV show writers, they're all going to video games because
Yeah.
there's less interference. So that's
Yeah.
why like gameplay makes it a little difficult. But if you take the gameplay out of it,
But yeah,
the
the
story,
pure story,
is,
yes.
is the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, it's tough because like books.
Mm-hmm.
I used to read a lot more when I was younger. I don't have time. I don't have time to play games at all,
Yeah.
let alone read a book. So like I listen to a lot more. There's some really good stuff.
Yeah.
There
Like
is.
there's some really good books.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but again, like you said, it's all about the investment. I'm a what can I watch quickly person, or can I listen to quickly?
Yep.
And books are great, but like if you go, but then again, if you're a TV show person, you can listen to a book because you can go like, okay, I'll listen to an hour.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll listen to another hour.
A chapter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can bang out a chapter.
Bang out a chapter and be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches. We have so many options. Yep. And it's always, like you said, there's no wrong answer. It's more about just like your preference or where you think it's going. It's not even about our preference. It's like, where do we think it's going?
Yeah.
Animation always, like lately, has a leg up just because you can do more. I mean, and again, like we talked about the Iron Giant last time, where it's like the Iron Giant is one of those like, it is not just a good animation film, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it hits all the story beats, it has beginning, middle, end, and they were able to cram in everything you needed to care about these characters in an hour and a half.
And that's to say, it's not to say that you can't cram in all the essential points and still tell a full story, and that's an hour and a half movie.
Yeah. That's where you get pissed when they don't.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, you had 3 hours and I don't even know who that guy is.
Oh, absolutely. That's why it's like, I hate with a passion, not with passion, but I hate The Irishman. Like Martin Scorsese's big whole thing. It's supposed to be a mobster movie, and I got bored to tears. I took 2 days to watch that because I got so bored halfway through. I'm like, I literally can't.
You're like, I can't do this.
I was falling asleep in the middle of the day, and I wasn't tired at the beginning of the movie.
It's a trudge.
And I love all of the people that are in that movie. I love it. I love Martin Scorsese, but good God, they kept talking.
Yeah.
Over stupid things. I'm like, just get to the point. We all know Jimmy Hoffa dies. Get to it.
Get to the point. But then you have like Titanic or some of these other ones that are like 3.5 hours that don't feel like it because you're like, it's so good.
Right. Yeah. It's like Lord of the Rings. Like people can argue about Return of the King, but like Two Towers, for example, like people will say that's the best paced of all the Lord of the Rings because it moves so quickly through multiple storylines.
Two Towers used to be my absolute favorite, and then I got a little older and I love Fellowship. Like Fellowship to me, and people are like, because a lot of people love the middle and the end, but like the beginning, I'm like, I think it's because it's a little smoother.
Yeah.
It's a little smoother.
Yeah.
It's the introductions.
But see, that it sets up the world at that point very, very well, for something like that.
But that just, and again, it just been, because there's people that are bored to tears from that.
Yeah,
and it's like,
absolutely.
And you're going like, are you crazy?
And again,
great.
it's so subjective with all of these different things where it's like you can detract or add to each one of these different points. Where some would argue that music is a better way of selling it. It's like not just some people can argue that you can get more emotion across with the music than you
honestly,
can.
Part of the reason I picked live because of the live music. Like really,
absolutely.
Different.
But with
you have a good score though. There's some a good score can make or break a movie.
Absolutely.
Make or break a movie, or just
because it's one thing like somebody can look into a camera with sad eyes and you go, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But you put a good soundtrack behind it, it's like you can make somebody cry like
Laura
that.
McLaughlin,
Arms of the Angel,
whatever that is. I can watch a lady hold a cat any other time and I'm fine.
Yeah.
And it's like Arms of the Angel. I'm like, oh.
I'll give you my money. That's fine.
Take my dime.
Yeah.
I've never said that. But I've thought about it.
So, all right. Here's a topic for our next one. What are your top movie soundtracks then?
So
we don't have to do that now. But what's your movie?
Well,
soundtrack?
let me ask for a little clarification for this because soundtrack as in just music as whole or soundtrack because like some people will go a soundtrack is like Smash Mouth to Shrek or scores.
Yes,
I would say scores.
But
you could do
I will argue both because sometimes for movies like Shrek, the music or like Shrek 2 for example or even Shrek 1, the music that they do for those, even if it's not just regular soundtrack, is just as important. So like for example in Shrek 2 when he is going to storm the castle, they have Holding Out for a Hero coming through and that makes that portion of the movie that much more entertaining because he's running through to Everybody Wants That soundtrack going through
because they're so polar opposite and this is just an example but like if you're like I love Oppenheimer's score right. I'm like that's such a different thing than like and again it's kind of like this it's subjective but it's that thing where I'm like I just want to make sure because I'm gonna have to really think.
Are we going all media?
I'm going all media.
Okay.
Favorite scores, soundtracks from any media.
All right. When you say like any media, do you mean like
video game scores?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's stick with movies right now, and we can.
Movies?
Okay. Yeah, because video games is a whole other thing too, and then
because if you want to shed some tears, there's some video games out there.
That's true.
Kill
yeah.
You. Or if you just want to jam out. Halo, baby.
Yeah. So that's let's say video games is a whole other thing because that's
Okay.
that's a
So
whole different.
movie, music,
Yes.
score, soundtrack of
Sure.
any.
Yeah,
Of any
if
kind.
it's in the movie as
Okay.
and we're
I got some
talking.
bangers out there.
I'm saying we talk
Freaky Friday
as
was so
movie
good.
as a whole. So not
That's
just
gonna be my soundtrack.
so not just that one movie, or that one song from that one movie really
Yeah.
touched me because I'm sure there's millions of those
But it has
type
to
of
be
stories.
full blown,
Like,
like
what's
point
your
A to
top-
Z
yeah.
score,
Yeah.
or like a full set.
Yeah, so this is like my favorite composer. It's
Oh,
my
dude,
favorite
I
movie.
got
And
you.
all of it just kind of goes,
got you,
whatever
big
your
dog.
reasoning is. So
I'm down. I like
That's
it.
gonna be good.
yeah,
Awesome.
because
That'll be a
notes
fun
for
one.
next week, so I don't forget.
yeah, yeah, because like I said, the music almost more than anything can really put that punch to any like Superman when we were watching it, just like that do do do
Yeah.
do 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 do.
It was
Just
really-
like
that
da
was
ba
such
ba,
good-
and
it
You
was
need
just-
a
it's so
good,
cool.
a good.
And then just like I was saying last week, it's like there's like your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 list of things that can go. It's like music and visuals; those go
Yeah.
together so well that
Yeah.
it'll make you feel stuff, man.
It'll be good.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yep.
Cool. Well,
So.
let us know, guys. What is your favorite medium, or where do you think the future of storytelling is going alongside your favorite? Because my favorite doesn't quite match up with where I think it's going. But
Right.
yeah, that'd be a fun one. Let us know, and then also scores for next time. Think of some ideas on or music soundtracks.
Yep.
Of your favorite movies.
All right. Thanks, go. Like and subscribe. Check out our socials. We'll see you next time.